Hello friends. If you were born on January 6th, prepare to see yourself like never before. Because what if I told you that your birthday isn't just a date, it's a blueprint? A master key unlocking hidden patterns in love, ambition, sensuality, and even the secrets of your soul. You're not just a Capricorn. You are the January 6th Capricorn. And that distinction, it matters more than you think. Let's decode your destiny, across Western astrology, numerology, Vedic wisdom, Druidic trees, flower and stone symbolism, and even karmic blueprints. Ready? This is going to feel like looking in a cosmic mirror. The essence of January 6th, a legacy in motion. Born under the determined influence of Capricorn, the goat, you're naturally driven to climb, but your ascent isn't limited to career or financial goals. You rise through layers of emotional wisdom, spiritual maturity, and personal discipline. You are constantly building relationships, legacies, systems, and sometimes even yourself from scratch. There's something deeply ancient about your energy, a kind of silent wisdom that people feel before they fully understand you. You approach life like a mountain, slow, steady, strategic, and impossible to ignore once you reach the peak. What makes you exceptional among Capricorns is the internal balance between ambition and depth. Most see the practical surface, your task-oriented nature, your calculated steps, your calm in chaos. But beneath that is a vast emotional ocean, one that's finely tuned to subtle shifts in energy, intention, and truth. You can sense when people aren't being real, and you retreat the moment you do. It's not coldness, it's self-preservation. You've always known how to protect your energy, often better than anyone around you. Emotionally, you're not detached, you're selectively open. You take time to trust, time to love, time to reveal your full story. But once you do, it's lifelong. You don't dabble in fleeting phases or short-term highs. You commit with your entire being. Everything you build, your friendships, your identity, your goals, are built to endure. And in that, you're one of the rarest kinds of people alive, a builder of futures who still honors the past. Ruling planet, Saturn. Saturn, your ruling planet, is often misunderstood. People hear discipline and limits and think Saturn is restrictive. But for you, Saturn is a gift, it's the scaffolding that lets you construct dreams that don't collapse. While others chase impulse or inspiration, you chase what can last. Saturn gives you time-honed patience, the kind that sees projects through from blueprint to skyscraper. You're not just a thinker, you're a doer, a long-term executor, a quiet powerhouse. Under Saturn's influence, you value order, responsibility, and purpose. You're not interested in shortcuts. You know the long road leads to the best view, and you don't mind working harder if it means the reward is real. You also embody Saturn's deep respect for karma. You understand that everything comes full circle, so you live with integrity, pay your dues, and rarely leave loose ends. Even when life throws chaos at you, Saturn teaches you how to endure, how to rebuild, and how to rise stronger. Most importantly, Saturn helps you make peace with solitude. You don't fear being alone. You use solitude to sharpen your mind, clarify your path, and renew your sense of purpose. You thrive in silence, which is where most of your most brilliant ideas are born. If the world gave you nothing but time and space, you'd still emerge with a masterpiece. Your symbolic tagline: build it. Then become it. This isn't just a cute phrase, it's a spiritual mandate. You don't wait for life to happen to you. You roll up your sleeves and construct it. From the relationships you choose to the career paths you pursue, you are never passive. You don't chase identities, you build one, from the ground up, through action, reflection, and hard-earned clarity. Build it. Then become it, means you never fake it until you make it, you forge it until it's real. You understand that being something isn't about labels or appearances, it's about discipline, consistency, and the courage to stay the course. You know that nothing of value is built overnight. So you keep building your skill set, your confidence, your home, your soul's work. Eventually, the life you've architected becomes indistinguishable from who you are. That's your gift. And that's your legacy. Love relationships, a fortress of loyalty. In matters of the heart, you're the real deal. No games, no drama, no flings just for the sake of it. Your love is a fortress, strong, steady, and enduring. You're someone who needs to trust fully before opening your heart, but when you do, your love runs as deep as it is unshakable. You're a long-term thinker, even in romance. You see the big picture of love, not just the butterflies or passion, but partnership, shared goals, and legacy. You want someone to build with, someone who understands that love is not just a feeling, it's a decision, made day after day. Your emotional world is deep, but you don't wear it on your sleeve. That's not secrecy, it's sacredness. You don't offer your vulnerability to just anyone. And when people mistake your restraint for coldness, they're missing the truth. You feel everything, just privately, intentionally, and protectively. You take your time in love because you understand the cost of betrayal and the value of loyalty. You want a partner who can go the distance, not just in passion, but in maturity, patience, and inner work. If your love is a fortress, you're the architect and the guardian. You create safety, provide structure, and offer unwavering support. You don't ask for attention, you earn loyalty by giving it first. And your ideal relationship? One where both partners understand that love is both an emotion and an investment, of time, energy, and soul. What turns you on mentally first, always? Consistency turns you on more than grand gestures. You want to see someone show up again and again, even in the small ways. You're deeply attracted to emotional stability, people who don't ride emotional roller coasters but know how to ground themselves and communicate clearly. You admire intelligence, but not the kind that shouts for attention. You're turned on by quiet depth, subtle insight, and understated brilliance. You also crave purpose. Someone who knows who they are and where they're going will always catch your eye. You're drawn to people who have their own mission, their own sense of direction. Because your life is about progress, and you want a partner who's not just along for the ride, but who's driving in the same direction. Emotional maturity is your love language. You respect people who take responsibility for their actions, who can apologize when they're wrong, and who value growth over ego. That's what makes you feel safe enough to open up, and once you do, the connection is powerful, physical, and incredibly deep. What you give in return. When you love someone, you show up in ways most people can't even articulate. Your loyalty is unwavering, almost sacred. You're the kind of partner who thinks 2, 5, 10 years ahead, and plans for both of you. You bring structure to the relationship, creating a kind of emotional architecture that your partner can lean on during storms. You offer practical support, not just flowers and sweet texts, though you'll do that too. You'll take care of the bills, handle logistics, fix the car, solve the argument, or rearrange your life to support your partner's dreams. Your love isn't just poetic, it's useful, grounding, and necessary. Most importantly, you listen like no one else. You don't just hear words, you read between the lines. You absorb emotion, process quietly, and offer feedback that actually helps. Your emotional intelligence is rare. And your gift? The ability to create emotional safety, which allows your partner to finally be fully themselves. But here's the kicker, while you might seem reserved in love, your sensuality runs deep. You are a sensualist, but not in a performative way. Your sensuality is private, personal, and deeply rooted in trust. Once you feel emotionally secure, you become incredibly open, expressing affection, passion, and desire in ways that are both tender and intense. You're not one for public displays or flashy flirtation. Your romantic energy is quieter, but far more powerful. You know how to touch without words, how to create intimacy through presence, and how to make love feel like both safety and fire. You're not interested in temporary highs, you want a connection that makes time stop. With the right partner, your passion is infinite. You explore with care, you commit with depth, and you love with a power that doesn't just excite, it transforms. Your loyalty makes intimacy feel like sacred ground, and anyone lucky enough to share that space with you will never forget it. Sexuality, the quiet storm. Don't let your composed, often impenetrable exterior fool anyone. Beneath it lies a sensual core that pulses with complexity, desire, and emotional nuance. For someone born on January 6th, sexuality isn't a casual terrain, it's a sacred, almost spiritual space that you approach with both caution and depth. While you may appear emotionally reserved, your intimate world tells a very different story, one of yearning, intuition, and a slow, simmering intensity that can't be faked or forced. You crave not just physical connection, but an energetic one, something felt more than spoken. What turns you on isn't just skin and touch, but presence. You long for the kind of lover who can meet you in silence, who senses your needs before you name them, and who values intimacy as more than just a moment, but as a shared emotional landscape. Trust is your gateway to passion. You must feel safe to feel free, and once that door is open, there's no limit to your depth or devotion. Your sensuality is also highly intelligent. You intuit what your partner needs, what they fear, what they long for, but you never rush. You don't blaze in like wildfire, you warm like slow-burning coals. And your patience is magnetic. You understand that real intimacy takes time, and you're willing to wait, to nurture, to build it one quiet gesture at a time. When others are looking for sparks, you're building a fire that never dies. Your sexual energy is controlled, but intense. You rarely make the first move, but that doesn't mean you're passive. In fact, your restraint is part of your power. You like to maintain control, not in a domineering way, but in a way that keeps you feeling safe and grounded. That control gives you the confidence to move with precision, to read your partner's cues without fumbling, and to deliver experiences that feel both intentional and unforgettable. When you finally let your walls down, your intensity is staggering. You don't just go through the motions, you pour your entire being into each intimate encounter. Every touch is a message. Every look has layers. You want your partner to feel seen, consumed, and understood, all without theatrics. You don't perform, you immerse. And that kind of intensity stays with people long after the moment is over. Your sexual energy is subtle, yet dominating. You're not loud, aggressive, or flashy about your desires, but you hold a quiet dominance that's far more potent than force. You know how to command a room without raising your voice, and in the bedroom, that energy becomes irresistible. You're naturally attuned to control, not for ego, but for flow. You set the pace, read the energy, and guide your partner into deeper states of connection without saying much at all. This subtle dominance comes from confidence, not arrogance. You understand boundaries. You understand timing. And perhaps most importantly, you understand the sacredness of trust. You don't take control to overpower, you take it to elevate. Your partners often feel not only desired by you, but deeply respected, which only heightens the passion. You leave them feeling both held and undone. Your sexual energy is protective, nurturing, grounding. You don't separate sexuality from care. When you open yourself to someone physically, you also open emotionally, and you instinctively take on a protective role. You want your lover to feel completely safe in your presence, not just physically, but emotionally and energetically. You're the kind of person who remembers what your partner liked 3 weeks ago and makes it part of the next encounter. Your attentiveness is unparalleled. Your sexuality is a grounding force. It's how you connect, recharge, and realign with your partner. After intimacy with you, your lovers often feel clearer, calmer, and even more confident, not because of ego, but because you help regulate emotional energy through physical expression. You heal through touch. You stabilize through presence. Your intimacy doesn't just feel good, it restores. You're not here for surface-level encounters. One-night stands, casual flings, and emotionally distant hookups hold little appeal to you. You want, and need, a partner who speaks your emotional language. Someone who listens deeply, communicates clearly, and understands that sex is an extension of emotional truth. Your desire is magnetic, but it's never blind. It's discerning. You want someone who can meet your intensity, mirror your depth, and help build an experience that's both erotic and emotional. When that happens, sex with you becomes not just pleasure, but transformation. Marriage, a sacred contract. Marriage, to you, is not a fairy tale. It's not just romance, or passion, or even companionship. It is a sacred, strategic, deeply spiritual bond, one that you take more seriously than most people will ever understand. You don't rush into commitments. You don't fantasize about weddings for the sake of a celebration. You envision marriage as an alliance, a merging of lives, a mutual investment in the long term. When you say, "I do," it's not symbolic, it's a vow of legacy. For you, marriage is the highest expression of trust. It's where your loyalty finds a home and your devotion becomes daily action. You seek a partner who is your equal, not just emotionally, but intellectually and spiritually. Someone who shares your values, your ambitions, your vision for what life can be when it's built with intention. And once you find that person, you give them everything, not just love, but structure, support, and the kind of loyalty that can't be shaken by time or challenge. You are not afraid of commitment, you require it. Casual entanglements don't feed your soul. You need clarity, direction, agreement, and a sense that your partnership is going somewhere. If your relationship doesn't feel like it's growing or leading to something meaningful, you'll start to withdraw, not out of cruelty, but out of self-preservation. You don't waste time. You build. And marriage is the structure you most want to build well. Ideal marriage partners, Taurus for grounding. Taurus shares your craving for security and your respect for loyalty. With a Taurus partner, marriage becomes a fortress, safe, sensual, and filled with stability. You both appreciate the finer things, but also know the value of hard work and long-term planning. Taurus will help you slow down and savor the moment, while you help them stay focused on growth and vision. Together, you create a life rooted in comfort but always reaching upward. Ideal marriage partners, Virgo for shared values. Virgo resonates with your practical soul. Both of you value order, responsibility, and meaningful work. A marriage between Capricorn and Virgo feels like a partnership between two architects of life, planning, adjusting, improving. You'll understand each other's silence, appreciate each other's attention to detail, and share a kind of loyalty that feels rare in today's world. With Virgo, you never feel like you're building alone. Ideal marriage partners, Pisces for emotional expansion. Pisces brings the emotional depth and imagination that you sometimes suppress. They teach you softness, creativity, and how to surrender, while you offer them grounding, clarity, and protection. It's a yin-yang dynamic that can be profoundly healing if both people are emotionally mature. In marriage, Pisces helps awaken your sensitivity, while you help them structure their dreams into reality. It's a union of heart and earth. Ideal marriage partners, Scorpio for depth and intensity. With Scorpio, you find a match for your hidden fire. This relationship is built on mutual intensity, loyalty, and the need to go all in. There's no halfway with either of you. Scorpio will meet your silence with depth, your restraint with passion, and your ambition with loyalty. You'll both want to build something real, something private, something deeply powerful. Marriage here is less about ceremony and more about soul-level contract. You're not afraid of commitment, you just want to commit to the right person. You understand that marriage isn't an escape or a fix. It's a shared mission. And when you find a partner who understands that, who sees your vision and matches your heart, you become unstoppable. You will work through storms, grow through challenges, and turn a relationship into a legacy. Marriage isn't just a destination for you, it's a lifelong journey of becoming more together than either of you could be alone. And once you're in, body, mind, and soul, for life. Friendship, inner circle energy. You don't collect friends, you cultivate them. For you, friendship isn't a numbers game, it's sacred ground. You choose your inner circle with the same deliberation you bring to every other part of your life. While others might thrive in constant social buzz, you prefer deep, one-on-one connections that evolve over time. You want friends who understand nuance, who respect your boundaries, and who show up when it counts. Casual acquaintances may come and go, but your real friendships are built to last. Loyalty, trust, and shared values are non-negotiables. You're not antisocial, you're selectively social. You enjoy meaningful conversations, shared purpose, and emotional authenticity. What you avoid are surface-level exchanges or people who say one thing and do another. You'd rather be alone than in shallow company. Your energy is precious, and you protect it like currency. Because of this, when you do call someone a friend, it's a badge of honor. Your loyalty to your chosen few runs deep. You're the type who remembers birthdays, shows up at 2 a.m. when needed, and gives honest advice even when it's hard to hear. Your friends don't just feel liked, they feel safe with you. Over time, your friendships tend to mature like fine wine, stronger, richer, more rooted. You build traditions, trust layers, and emotional shorthand that make your connections unshakable. You don't need daily texts or constant communication to feel close. In fact, some of your most cherished friends are those you can go months without seeing, yet pick up right where you left off. For you, real friendship isn't measured in minutes, it's measured in meaning. Traits you attract, loyal confidence. Because of your own consistency and integrity, you naturally attract people who value the same. These friends don't play games. They don't gossip behind your back. They defend your name when you're not in the room. Loyal confidants find comfort in your calm, wisdom in your silence, and strength in your loyalty. These are the people who appreciate your no-drama attitude and repay it with devotion of their own. They lean on you when life gets heavy, not because you solve their problems for them, but because your presence reminds them they can. You're the grounding force in many social circles, the steady one people rely on when everything else is uncertain. And in return, your loyal friends protect you just as fiercely. They don't just stick around when it's easy, they stand beside you when life gets messy, which is exactly the kind of energy you thrive on. Traits you attract, quiet creatives. There's a unique magnetism between you and those who live more in their imagination than on the surface. Artists, writers, dreamers, and thinkers feel drawn to your grounding presence. You provide a sense of structure and realness they often need, while they offer you emotional color and perspective that expands your worldview. It's a quiet chemistry, not loud or attention-seeking, but built on respect, inspiration, and deep mental connection. These friendships often lead to collaboration, either in thought or in passion projects. You challenge each other, hold each other accountable, and often share a language that doesn't require constant explanation. You get each other. And even when your worlds look very different, your values align in beautiful and unexpected ways. Traits you attract, ambitious dreamers. Driven people find you irresistible, not in a romantic way, but in an energetic sense. You radiate purpose, and ambitious souls see you as both a role model and an ally. These friendships often blossom in professional environments, mastermind groups, or shared missions. Together, you talk about goals, progress, and building something meaningful. There's a mutual respect and a hunger for self-improvement that fuels both of you. These friends aren't intimidated by your ambition, they're inspired by it. You support each other's rise, celebrate each other's wins, and work through challenges like partners in a shared journey. When you team up with ambitious dreamers, you move mountains, not just in business, but in personal growth too. The result? Friendships that push you to become even more of who you're meant to be. Warning sign for you, fake people. Superficial energy. Overpromisers. You can spot insincerity from miles away. Your instincts are razor sharp when it comes to social deception. People who talk too much but say nothing, who flatter instead of connect, or who promise big and deliver little. You quietly, but permanently, distance yourself. You don't need confrontation. You simply walk away and never look back. Business career, built to lead. From an early age, you've likely felt the pressure, and the calling, to succeed. Not in a loud, look at me kind of way, but through a quiet sense of purpose that fuels your every decision. You were born with an innate sense of structure. You see problems and instinctively search for solutions. You're not interested in quick wins or flashy success. What you crave is mastery, deep understanding, sustainable impact, and a legacy that outlives you. You work with intention. Whether you're in a creative field, law, tech, medicine, or entrepreneurship, you bring order to chaos. You plan, delegate, analyze, and execute with incredible precision. People may not always understand your methods right away, but they always respect your results. You're not one to chase trends. You choose a path, commit fully, and build something others can depend on. In group settings, you may not speak first, but when you do, people listen. And more often than not, they follow. Leadership for you isn't about control, it's about responsibility. You don't seek power for ego's sake. You seek it because you believe you can make things better, more efficient, and more meaningful. And you're usually right. You earn authority not through charm, but through consistency, integrity, and competence. You don't just lead teams, you build cultures, infrastructures, and long-term strategies that set everyone up for success. Your career keywords, mastermind. Your brain is built to manage complexity. You love analyzing systems, solving problems, and connecting the dots between strategy and execution. You're the one behind the scenes making everything work, even when no one notices. But when it's time to step into the spotlight, you do so with calm authority. Your ideas are rarely just good, they're foundational. You don't just have plans, you have visions. As a mastermind, you're not easily distracted. You have tunnel vision when it comes to your goals, and while others may change direction every few months, you stick to the long game. This makes you a reliable partner, a visionary founder, and an invaluable advisor. People turn to you when they want not just answers, but clarity. Your career keywords, strategist. You don't react, you respond. In business, this is a superpower. While others get lost in emotion or urgency, you stay calm, assess the landscape, and act with logic and insight. You know how to forecast, how to anticipate obstacles, and how to move pieces into place before the game even begins. You don't play checkers, you play chess. Strategists like you are crucial in roles that involve planning, policy, finance, or negotiation. You see the big picture, and you're always thinking 2, 5, 10 steps ahead. You're not loud about your wins, but you're always the one making them possible. Your career keywords, architect and leader. As an architect of systems and ideas, you excel at building things that last. This could be a business, a creative brand, a non-profit model, or even a team culture. You think about sustainability, scale, and impact. You know that great work isn't built overnight, and you're one of the few willing to do what it takes for the long haul. Leadership, for you, isn't about dictating, it's about aligning. You bring out the best in others by offering clarity, consistency, and belief in the mission. You lead without needing to be the center of attention. Your style is grounded, logical, and calm, but no less inspiring. People follow you not because they have to, but because they trust you. They know you'll never lead them anywhere you wouldn't go yourself. Best careers for January 6th birthdays: entrepreneur. Your sense of independence, strategic thinking, and work ethic make you a natural entrepreneur. You're not just here to work, you're here to create. You're capable of turning an idea into an empire, step by patient step. Best careers: lawyer or judge. You thrive in fields where structure, logic, and fairness matter. Law appeals to your need for precision, ethics, and long-term thinking. You'd make a brilliant legal mind, especially in roles where integrity matters more than drama. Best careers: architect or engineer. Whether it's literal buildings or conceptual systems, you love to construct things that work. You have the patience and intelligence to design things right the first time. Best careers: psychologist. Your emotional depth and analytical mind combine beautifully in the field of psychology. You have a quiet ability to listen, decode, and guide others to healing without ego or judgment. Best careers: CEO or manager. You lead with calm strength. You don't just manage projects, you move them forward with vision and confidence. You know how to unify a team without micromanaging. Best careers: researcher or analyst. You love diving deep into data, patterns, and hidden truths. You don't just gather information, you extract meaning, and that's what makes your work so valuable. Numerology: the power of the number 6. In numerology, the number 6 is considered one of the most nurturing, stabilizing, and quietly powerful forces in the entire system. It represents responsibility, compassion, and service, but not in a martyrdom sense. The 6 energy is about intentional care. It brings harmony not by smoothing over conflict, but by resolving it at the root. For those born on January 6th, this number becomes a life theme, a guiding frequency that shows up in your values, your choices, and how others see you. You're not the loudest voice in the room, but you're the one people trust to keep things together when it matters most. This number makes you naturally inclined toward building family-like structures everywhere you go. Whether it's your household, your team at work, or a community initiative, you instinctively take on the role of emotional anchor and protector. People lean on you, not just because you're kind, but because you're competent. You blend heart and logic in ways that make others feel safe, seen, and supported. You're often the peacemaker, the one who can step in, calm the tension, and guide others back to common ground. But unlike some peacekeepers, you don't do it to avoid conflict, you do it because balance matters to you on a soul level. And yet, being a 6 isn't just about helping others. It's also about mastery of your own inner world. You're here to learn that true service begins with self-respect. Many with this number tend to overgive at first, until they learn to place boundaries, value their energy, and use their gifts in ways that don't drain them. You're meant to model what healthy care looks like: compassionate, consistent, but never codependent. That balance? It's your superpower. 6 is the number of harmony. Harmony is not just a goal for you, it's a driving instinct. You naturally sense imbalance, whether it's emotional tension in a room, misalignment in a group dynamic, or dissonance within yourself. But your way of restoring peace isn't about ignoring problems. Instead, you analyze, understand, and resolve. You ask the hard questions gently. You bring people together without pushing them. You're the one who speaks when no one else knows how, using words that calm and clarify. Harmony, to you, is about alignment, when intentions match actions, when people feel safe to be honest, and when everything is moving in sync. You bring harmony by simply being who you are. Your grounded energy makes others breathe easier. In moments of chaos, you're often the person others look to for direction, even without asking. Your presence calms, and your insight restores. At home, you bring emotional steadiness. At work, You build teams that function like families. In friendships, you set the tone for realness and trust. You don't chase peace, you create it. 6 is the number of responsibility. You were born with an unusually strong sense of duty. While others might dodge commitments or fear expectations, you face them with calm resolve. Responsibility doesn't scare you, it motivates you. You want to be someone others can count on. Whether you're raising a family, running a business, or mentoring someone quietly behind the scenes, you take your roles seriously. You don't show up halfway. You commit fully, because that's what the number 6 requires, full-hearted engagement with life. This doesn't mean you enjoy being overwhelmed. In fact, your greatest lesson is often in delegating responsibility, not because you can't handle it, but because you shouldn't have to do it all. When you learn to trust others and share the load, your natural leadership blossoms even more. You're not just a support system, you're a builder of them. Responsibility, for you, isn't a weight, it's a calling. And you answer it with grace. 6 is the number of family. Whether it's the family you were born into or the one you create later in life, your soul is wired for belonging. You're most fulfilled when you're part of something tight-knit and purpose-driven. You don't need massive crowds or endless social events, you need your people. You care deeply about the well-being of those around you, and you'll often go out of your way to ensure everyone is taken care of. That includes physical needs, emotional support, and even spiritual encouragement. You're the glue, the safe place, the one who remembers everyone's stories and shows up without needing to be asked. Family, to you, is a space of legacy and protection. You want to build a home that lasts, not just a place, but a feeling. You create rituals, foster traditions, and carry wisdom through generations. And whether you're a parent, sibling, friend, or mentor, you bring that same familial energy into all your closest relationships. People may not always say it, but they feel it. When they're around you, they feel like they belong. 6 is the number of healing. You are, at heart, a healer. Not necessarily in the medical sense, though many born under this number do pursue health-related paths, but in the energetic and emotional sense. You hold space for pain without flinching. You witness others in their truth without trying to fix or judge. And somehow, that alone helps people begin to heal. You offer solutions, yes, but more than that, you offer presence. And presence, especially when paired with love and trust, becomes transformative. Often, your healing powers are subtle. You don't announce them. You simply listen, offer insight, or even just sit in silence, and something inside the other person shifts. You know how to stabilize emotional energy in a way that others can't explain, but always remember. Your gift lies not just in what you say, but in how you see people, fully, kindly, without distortion. 6 is the number of protection. You were born to protect, not to dominate or control, but to shield. Your instincts lean toward creating safe spaces, whether for your children, your partner, your team, or your community. You have a powerful moral compass, and you don't just protect people physically, you protect their spirit. You stand up for what's right. You advocate for the underdog. And when someone you love is in danger, emotionally or otherwise, you become fiercely unwavering. This protective instinct is what makes you such a reliable friend, parent, partner, or leader. You don't turn away when things get tough. You step forward. You absorb the blow, offer a plan, and guide people to safety. And you do it all not for recognition, but because it's who you are. Life path clue, you're here to heal through structure. You're not just here to be kind, you're here to organize kindness into something functional. Your life purpose revolves around bringing order to emotional or physical chaos. You take abstract feelings like love, justice, and compassion, and give them a framework. That might look like building a healthy family dynamic, founding an organization that serves others, or mentoring individuals into their next chapter. You create harmony not through wishful thinking, but through strategy. You are a bridge between the heart and the system. Whether in a household, a business, or a social movement, you bring alignment. You look at broken pieces and instinctively start crafting solutions. You're the quiet architect of healing, the one who rebuilds not just with hope, but with plans. And when people walk into the structures you've built, they feel it: safety, love, and belonging, wrapped into a foundation that stands the test of time. Druid Tree Horoscope, the Fir Tree. According to the ancient Celtic Druids, the fir tree represents mystery, endurance, and quiet strength, qualities that mirror your January 6th soul with uncanny precision. You are the silent forest in winter, beautiful, composed, and deceptively powerful. People may not notice you at first, but once they step closer, they're drawn in by your aura, cool on the surface, yet filled with deep emotional resonance and a strong inner compass. Your presence is soothing, but your energy commands respect. The fir tree doesn't sway in storms, it stands tall, adapting while remaining rooted. That's you in every season of life. Your sophistication doesn't come from pretense, it comes from clarity. You're aware of your strengths, your shadows, and your intentions. That self-awareness gives you presence. Even in a room full of louder personalities, people sense your energy before you speak. There's something deeply refined about the way you move, speak, and even listen. You don't force your importance, you embody it. And while you're highly independent, you're not isolated. Like the evergreen tree, you maintain life and vitality all year long. You're deeply dependable. The kind of person people return to, when they need wisdom, guidance, or just a moment of calm. You may not seek the spotlight, but your influence is long-lasting, and often far-reaching. Personality traits: mysterious. You don't give away everything at once, and that's part of your magic. People are drawn to your depth, but they have to earn your trust before they get past the outer layers. You reveal yourself slowly, intentionally, allowing others to peel back your layers like pages in a very well-written novel. There's always more to discover with you, and that air of mystery doesn't come from playing games, it comes from living with discernment. Your mystery is quiet confidence. You don't need to explain yourself to be understood. People either resonate with your truth, or they don't. And you're fine with either. Those who do make it into your inner world find someone loyal, profound, and often far wiser than their years. You're the kind of person who holds secrets, not just yours, but others, with reverence and care. Personality traits: sophisticated. Sophistication, for you, isn't about luxury brands or social polish, it's about taste, intelligence, and refinement of thought. You're naturally drawn to things of quality, books that stretch your mind, conversations that go beneath the surface, and experiences that carry meaning. You have an eye for beauty, a mind for strategy, and a soul that craves depth. This makes you seem elegant in all you do, even if you're dressed in simplicity. People often admire the way you carry yourself, your calm, your composure, your clear standards. You don't chase approval, but you attract respect. You know who you are, and that unshakable self-knowledge gives you a natural grace. Whether it's the way you design your space, choose your words, or navigate a challenge, there's a quiet refinement that leaves a lasting impression. Personality traits: independent and highly driven. You were born with your own compass, and you've learned to trust it. Independence isn't just your preference, it's your nature. You're capable of building a life, making hard decisions, and leading yourself forward without needing constant validation. While you welcome support, you never depend on it. You value collaboration, but you never outsource your sense of purpose. That independence fuels your drive. You're not content with mediocrity. You have high standards, for yourself, your work, your relationships. You want to grow, to achieve, to fulfill your potential. But you're never flashy about it. You don't need to announce your goals, you simply work quietly until they're reality. And when they are, you stand tall, like the fir tree you are, elegant, strong, and deeply rooted in your truth. Flower horoscope, the carnation. The carnation, your birth flower, is far more than a symbol of simple beauty. It represents resilience, deep affection, and a quiet kind of strength that lasts. Unlike more showy flowers, carnations bloom in tough conditions, enduring through weather and time, much like your personality. In both ancient lore and modern symbolism, carnations are seen as expressions of divine love, not the loud, dramatic kind, but the steady, unwavering variety that stands firm when everything else falls away. For you, the carnation reflects your emotional durability, your sense of purpose, and your ability to love deeply without ever needing a spotlight. This flower's tightly ruffled petals suggest layers, something that fits you perfectly. On the surface, you're composed and often seen as serious or reserved. But those who take the time to look closer discover an inner world filled with sensitivity, loyalty, and intentional love. Carnations are also known to retain their beauty longer than most blooms after being cut, symbolizing your ability to maintain grace under pressure. When others might wilt under responsibility, you rise. When things get messy or uncertain, your consistency becomes a balm to those around you. You're the calm at the center of life's chaos. The deeper meaning of the carnation also speaks to your standards. This flower doesn't beg for attention, it simply thrives with integrity. Likewise, you don't seek admiration, you earn it through action, patience, and a quiet refusal to compromise your values. You carry a kind of natural authority, and whether in your career, friendships, or love life, people notice that you lead not with dominance, but with example. And though you may not always be fully understood, you're always respected. Meaning for you, you have a natural ability to earn respect without demanding it. You don't need to prove your worth. People feel it. The way you carry yourself, measured, calm, and intentional, signals to the world that you're someone to trust. You don't raise your voice to be heard, and you never rely on arrogance or flash. Your influence flows from consistency, reliability, and inner strength. Like the carnation, you command respect without ever asking for it. It's just how you are. That quiet strength allows you to step into leadership roles almost organically. In group settings, others instinctively look to you for guidance. It's not about control, it's about clarity. People see your calm in crisis and want to follow it. You're the one who doesn't flinch when the stakes are high. And whether you're managing a project, resolving conflict, or guiding someone through a personal challenge, your words carry weight because your character has already earned it. This ability is particularly powerful because it's rooted in authenticity. You don't play roles, wear masks, or manipulate impressions. You simply live by your principles. And in a world that's often distracted by noise and surface, that kind of realness makes you unforgettable. Meaning for you, you lead through example, never ego. Leadership comes naturally to you, but it's not loud. You don't have to take charge to be in charge. You model discipline through your work ethic, loyalty through your relationships, and clarity through your decisions. You know that real influence isn't about barking orders, it's about showing others what's possible by walking the path yourself. People observe you and think, if they can do it, I can, too. What makes your leadership style stand out is that it's rooted in humility. You never lead from a place of self-importance. You take responsibility quietly, mentor others without expectation, and guide without seeking validation. You are often the unseen hand that keeps everything moving. In families, teams, and friendships, your presence is a stabilizer, and you teach others to lead not by telling them, but by showing them. This makes you especially impactful in roles where integrity matters more than flair. Your ego never gets in the way of the mission. You don't need to win every conversation or prove your point. You just do what's right, every time. That's the core of your power, and people recognize it, even if they don't always say it aloud. Meaning for you, people trust you, even if they don't always understand you. You might not be the most expressive person in the room, but there's a depth to your energy that makes others feel safe. Your consistency, your ability to stay calm, and your refusal to gossip or judge makes you a natural confidant. People feel they can be real with you, and often tell you things they've never told anyone. You're not easily shocked or reactive, and that emotional steadiness creates an atmosphere of trust. Stone horoscope, the garnet. Your birthstone, garnet, is more than a gem, it's a symbol of grounding, emotional endurance, and inner fire. Deep red like embers that never die, garnet resonates with the Capricorn soul by fueling strength during life's most intense transitions. It's a stone that speaks to commitment, not only in relationships, but in personal purpose. It brings the kind of balance that doesn't just soothe you during chaos, it sharpens you. While many stones focus on attracting, garnet focuses on anchoring. It says, hold steady. You are capable. You are ready. Worn since ancient times by warriors, royalty, and healers alike, garnet has always symbolized resilience. It's not delicate, it's bold, and so are you. It doesn't ask for attention, but when it catches light, it burns with undeniable power. That's exactly how your energy works. You may seem quiet or reserved on the surface, but there is tremendous strength underneath. You hold emotional wisdom that's been earned, not inherited. And garnet reminds you to tap into that strength when the world tests you, because it will, and you'll rise. Garnet also helps deepen your intuition. It clarifies emotions, helps you identify your true desires, and dissolves self-doubt. During moments of transition, whether career shifts, relationship decisions, or inner spiritual awakening, this stone is like an energetic compass, keeping you rooted in your truth. It tells you, trust the process, but also trust yourself. Your instincts are sharper than you think. What garnet gives you? Emotional balance. Your inner world can be intense, especially because you often carry emotions for others. Garnet helps you sort through all of that without losing yourself in the process. It grounds your emotional energy, giving you the ability to process feelings without being overwhelmed by them. Think of it like a filter that helps you stay connected to your heart without drowning in the noise of everyone else's needs. This balance is crucial for someone like you, who naturally steps into caretaker roles. Garnet teaches you how to feel deeply and stay centered. It says, you can hold space for others without carrying their weight. Over time, this balance lets you engage more fully with life, without the emotional burnout that so many other empathetic people experience. What garnet gives you? Increased confidence. Garnet doesn't just stabilize, it strengthens. It activates your root chakra, which governs safety, self-worth, and survival. When you carry or wear garnet, you're reminded that you're not just capable, you're empowered. It helps silence the inner critic, especially when you're stepping into new roles or confronting uncertainty. Garnet whispers, you already know who you are. Stand in it. This confidence doesn't come from ego. It comes from remembering your purpose. You don't need applause or validation when you're anchored in your own truth. Garnet amplifies your natural leadership, helping you walk into rooms, conversations, and opportunities with presence and conviction. What garnet gives you? Courage in transitions. Life will test you. You already know that. But what garnet offers is the energy to move through those transitions with grace and courage. Whether it's a relationship ending, a job change, or an unexpected challenge, garnet supports your soul's evolution. It doesn't just protect, it propels. This is especially valuable for January 6th natives, who often find themselves playing stabilizer roles during times of collective chaos. Garnet allows you to offer that support without neglecting your own growth. It reminds you that change isn't just survivable, it's necessary. And you were built for it. Vedic Astrology, the Pushya Nakshatra. In Vedic astrology, those born around January 6th often fall under Pushya Nakshatra, one of the most auspicious and spiritually significant lunar constellations. Symbolized by the udder of a cow, Pushya is all about nourishment. It represents emotional and spiritual caretaking, deep inner wisdom, and a timeless drive to serve others in meaningful ways. And while Western astrology sees you as structured and pragmatic, Vedic astrology reveals the heart behind the structure, the soul that longs to protect, teach, and uplift. Pushya is ruled by Saturn, your Western ruling planet as well, reinforcing themes of discipline, structure, and karmic growth. But here, Saturn isn't just about work, it's about service. People born under Pushya often feel a sacred sense of responsibility to contribute something lasting to the world. They don't chase status. They build substance. And they do it with a devotion that is both rare and revered. You may often feel that others look to you for guidance, even when you haven't asked for that role. That's because Pushya energy radiates quiet authority. You carry emotional safety within you. You don't just talk about values, you live them. Whether as a parent, friend, partner, or leader, you are the soul others seek when they need shelter from the storm. You don't drain yourself in the process, you replenish, because giving is part of who you are. Personality in Vedic terms, devoted. Devotion, for you, isn't blind. It's intentional. You give yourself fully, to people, causes, ideas, only after you've vetted them through both logic and intuition. But once you do commit, there's no halfway. Your devotion is long haul, and it shows up in consistency, sacrifice, and a daily expression of love and principle. You're not interested in fair-weather loyalty. You offer the kind that's generational. In love, in work, and in your spiritual journey, this devotion becomes your compass. You don't give up easily. You don't walk away at the first sign of difficulty. And that perseverance doesn't just help others, it transforms you. Through devotion, you grow stronger. Through service, you evolve. Personality in Vedic terms, disciplined. Saturn's influence on Pushya makes you incredibly disciplined, not just in your routines, but in your values. You don't compromise easily. You hold yourself to high standards, and you live with purpose. Even when no one is watching, you stay aligned with what matters. That self-regulation is part of why others trust you. You're reliable, not because you have to be, but because it's who you are. Discipline also gives you the ability to manifest goals that would break lesser spirits. You're not deterred by long timelines. You understand that real transformation takes time, and you're willing to build something beautiful, one brick at a time. Personality in Vedic terms, spiritually wise and often a mentor or teacher. You don't need a title or degree to be a teacher. You teach through presence, through living well, through being the kind of person others look up to. Pushya gives you a natural inclination towards spiritual growth, and even if you're not overtly religious, you often carry wisdom that feels ancient. You understand cycles. You recognize patterns. And more often than not, your advice lands exactly where it needs to. You're the spiritual parent of your group. The one who reminds people of who they are. The one who quietly leads, not by force, but by frequency. And as you continue on your own journey, you'll find that your greatest lessons often come through serving and guiding others. In doing so, you fulfill your own soul's highest calling. Sign compatibility, who's your cosmic match? When it comes to love and compatibility, your January 6th Capricorn energy doesn't just seek affection, it seeks alignment. You need relationships that feel anchored, where both partners are moving in the same direction, building a shared future brick by brick. You're ruled by Saturn, which means your love language is commitment, dependability, and emotional investment that gets better with time. While passion matters, you care more about staying power, about loyalty, vision, and real partnership. And not every sign is built to match that kind of depth. You naturally resonate with people who respect structure, value emotional intelligence, and can offer both security and inspiration. You're at your best with someone who respects your need for independence, while also offering unwavering support. The cosmic matches that light you up are those that bring both balance and challenge. You don't want someone who simply mirrors you, you want someone who complements and strengthens you, while still standing firm in their own identity. Below are your strongest and most complex astrological pairings, and what makes each one so dynamic. Best matches for January 6th: Capricorn, Taurus, shared goals, emotional grounding. Taurus is like coming home. This earth sign shares your love for stability, loyalty, and a well-thought-out life plan. With Taurus, you're never guessing where you stand. Their consistency soothes your inner planner, and your ambition inspires their sense of purpose. Together, you can build a beautiful life, from shared savings goals to dreamy weekend rituals. Taurus understands your need to work hard and respects your quiet strength. And in return, you ground their occasional stubborn streak with your long-range wisdom. What makes this match thrive is the natural emotional rhythm between you. You both take your time to open up, but once you do, you create a deep, protective cocoon of trust and understanding. Arguments are rare, and when they do happen, they're solved practically. There's no need for drama, only progress. You bring direction, Taurus brings heart. And when you merge those two, you don't just build love, you build legacy. Best matches for January 6th: Capricorn, Virgo, practical love, mutual trust. Virgo and Capricorn are the dream team of the zodiac when it comes to functional love. This is the couple that doesn't just fall in love, they manage love. It may not be all fireworks and frenzy, but it's steady, nourishing, and deeply satisfying. Both signs are analytical, but not cold. Virgo brings detail-oriented care, while you offer the long-term vision. Together, you refine each other, hold each other accountable, and never stop improving the relationship. What elevates this pairing is the mutual respect. You admire Virgo's discipline and thoughtfulness, and they trust your emotional maturity and integrity. This is the kind of relationship that ages beautifully, where your bond only grows stronger the more time you spend solving life's puzzles together. Even your silences are comfortable. You both understand that love isn't just about saying the right things, it's about doing them. Best matches for January 6th: Capricorn, Pisces, opposites that deeply complement. Pisces is your emotional opposite, and in many ways, your soulmate in disguise. While you bring structure, boundaries, and realism, Pisces brings imagination, empathy, and emotional flow. This is a classic earth meets water match. You contain and shape their emotional currents, and they soften your edges and help you reconnect with your inner world. With Pisces, you find a rare vulnerability that brings out your more nurturing side. This match works when both partners are emotionally mature. Pisces needs your stability, and you need their sensitivity. While your default is to do, theirs is to feel. And together, you create a rhythm that's both poetic and practical. You help Pisces manifest their dreams, they remind you that not everything in life needs a 5-year plan. The result? A partnership that balances the head and the heart in stunning harmony. Best matches for January 6th: Capricorn, Scorpio, intense, transformative love. Scorpio meets you on your level, emotionally, intellectually, and energetically. They're one of the few signs that can match your depth without being overwhelmed by it. Like you, Scorpio is private, powerful, and precise. You both crave control, but in complementary ways. Scorpio wants emotional power, while you want structural control. When balanced, this makes you a formidable pair with unmatched chemistry and loyalty. What sets this match apart is the emotional intensity. Scorpio challenges you to open up in ways few others can. You challenge them to ground their emotions in action. And together, you create a kind of alchemy, where passion becomes purpose, and trust becomes an unbreakable bond. With Scorpio, you're not just falling in love, you're transforming through it. Challenging matches: Gemini, too flighty. Gemini's playful, unpredictable nature may feel exciting at first, but over time, it wears on your nerves. You value depth and follow-through, while Gemini lives in the moment and constantly pivots. While they love variety, you crave consistency. This difference can make you feel like you're constantly adjusting to keep up, while they may feel boxed in by your need for structure. Of course, if both of you are committed to learning from each other, there's room for magic. Gemini can teach you to loosen your grip on the wheel, and you can show them how to harness their energy into something meaningful. But without mutual effort, this pairing often fizzles out before anything lasting takes root. Challenging matches. Aries, too aggressive. Aries charges. Capricorn calculates. These opposing energies can lead to explosive tension, especially when both of you want to lead. Aries wants action now, while you want a plan first. Their impulsiveness can feel reckless to you, while your caution can feel restrictive to them. You both have strong wills and powerful personalities, which can lead to a constant tug-of-war. That said, this dynamic can work if you both learn to admire each other's strengths. Aries can teach you courage. You can teach Aries discipline. But if there's no mutual respect, the friction will be too much to sustain a peaceful connection. It's a relationship that requires growth, and a lot of patience. Challenging matches. Leo, ego clashes. Leo thrives on attention and admiration, while you value humility and results. You may find Leo's need for validation draining, while they might feel unseen or unappreciated by your understated love language. Leo wants celebration, you want progress. And if either partner feels undervalued, conflict can arise. Still, there's potential here. Leo can inspire you to express your feelings more openly, while you help ground Leo's larger-than-life dreams in reality. But both of you have to navigate ego carefully. If one starts competing instead of collaborating, the partnership quickly begins to unravel. But remember, any pairing can work with self-awareness. Astrology isn't destiny, it's a map. And like any map, it offers possible routes, not fixed outcomes. With awareness, communication, and mutual respect, even the most challenging pairings can become powerful unions. You, more than most, understand the value of doing the work, and that includes the work of love. The stars may nudge you, but you choose where to go. Shadow work, what you must overcome. Every powerful energy has a shadow. And for January 6th natives, your strength, your ability to plan, lead, and structure, can sometimes become your greatest limitation. The shadow you must wrestle with is the trap of overcontrol. You like things to be predictable, measurable, secure. But life? Life is wild. It's unpredictable, emotional, and often irrational. And your challenge is learning to let go without falling apart. Your need to manage every outcome often comes from a deep-rooted fear of chaos. You don't trust easily, not because you're cynical, but because you've been let down. Control becomes your safety net. But over time, that control can become a cage. It can limit spontaneity, intimacy, and joy. Relationships suffer when they're treated like checklists. Goals lose magic when there's no room for surprise. You begin to lose touch with the flow of life. The medicine. Vulnerability. That terrifying, beautiful act of releasing your grip and trusting others. Vulnerability isn't weakness, it's the doorway to deeper connection. It allows you to be seen not just as capable, but as human. And when you embrace that truth, your entire world softens. The control you thought kept you safe was actually holding you back. The moment you let go is the moment you truly rise. Your cosmic mission. You weren't born to drift through life. You were born to design it. To build. To shape. To leave the world better than you found it, not through noise or attention, but through legacy. People born on January 6th carry a blueprint energy. You see patterns others miss. You create order where there is none. And in doing so, you don't just succeed, you transform your environment. Your presence creates systems. Your mind builds futures. Your love leaves structure. This mission isn't about ego, it's about impact. You're not here for applause. You're here for results. Every decision you make becomes a brick in a foundation that others will one day walk on. Whether it's a family, a company, a piece of writing, or a philosophy, what you build will last. You may not be the loudest voice in the room, but when you speak, people listen. And more importantly, they remember. So here's your truth. You're not just a Capricorn. You're the architect of destiny. Quiet, wise, magnetic, and absolutely unforgettable. You don't need flash to shine. You don't need praise to matter. You are the blueprint. The foundation. The soul who builds what others only dream. If you found yourself nodding along, smiling knowingly, or suddenly understanding why you've always been the responsible one, then this wasn't just a horoscope. It was a mirror. Sparkles want more cosmic insights like this. Like, subscribe, and check the description for more guides, videos, and tools that dig deeper into you. Your story's just beginning.